Welcome back to Miles Off It. We got the finale of the show today. We're talking about Manchester City.
AJ Wood, let me hold that beat.
Finished last year 29-6-3, 93 points. That's They had 2.45 goals per game, which is a lot. That's many, many goals. They're 15-2-2 at home for 47 points, 14-4-1 away, 46 points. Pretty consistently unbelievable records. 99 goals on the year, 26 conceded, 73 goal difference, best in the league. John, for a team that is this big of a juggernaut, for a team that scored 99 goals and only gave up 26, tell me how'd they do it with no striker?
How do we do it?
Yeah, tell me.
We have the best coach in the world. We have the best system in the world. We have a lot of guys with a lot of big balls. And we have a team that wants to play for each other. They like each other. They are going out there every day, giving it their all. And to be honest, if you want a real take from me, there's a few players last year that stepped up that were unbelievable. And the two that come to my mind immediately are Rodri and Bernardo. And they really bossed the midfield and held it down for us. We had some injuries. We do every year. Every team does. And did that cost us in the Champions League? Absolutely. But in the Premier League, we were able to kind of keep together and win, what is it, our 4th out of 5 years?
You got a lot of them.
So, yeah.
Are you losing to Bernardo?
Well, jeez, buy me dinner first. I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't think so either now.
I think it's so. I think if we were going to lose Bernardo, it would have happened like last week or something.
Okay. Other than what I just asked you, what are some of your other strengths as a team? I know you've been basically beating the only drum in the entire building about how we have the two best goalkeepers. So why don't you tell me about Ederson? Tell me about some other positions around your field.
Wait, do you not think that these two goalkeepers are like monumental?
No, not monumental.
I think they're the two of the best people to ever play this position.
I don't know if you could say that right now, but
I don't think it's traditional goalkeeping. It's like trying to say that João Cancelo or Trent are the two best, like, left back and right back. They don't really play that position.
Right, but I understand that, but I'm also saying that you're like judging. You're saying that you're basically giving credit to Alisson and Ederson for a style that has only recently kind of like happened, and you're giving them credit over people when that like wasn't what was expected of a goalkeeper. That wasn't what
I know.
normally
That's
would
why
do.
I think they're borderline like generational talents because there are not many teams that can play the ways that we play.
Sure, but also if you go back 15, 20 years and look at those guys, they were probably generational from the time that other people were playing goalkeeper. So those people probably say the same thing. So I don't know if you can judge them that.
But my point is, these are, you know how Darwin, like the actual guy that wrote, the book about the species, when he's talking about evolution, you take steps, things evolve. We're getting to see two players evolve a position in real time.
I understand that, and I think
that's monumental.
I think, yeah, it's monumental for this period of time.
For sure.
Okay. You said to ever play the position.
What's the other option?
You said to ever play the position.
I think, yeah, to ever play that position.
I don't think that's necessarily a fair thing to say.
This is the first time you've ever stood up for old people. All right, where we were strong.
I stood up for goalkeepers. I do hate old people, though. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, chill. Where we were strong. Obviously, I mentioned Ederson. Also, Pep. I think Pep's the best coach in football. Is it easy to make fun of Pep? Sure. Is it easy to talk about how he overthinks things sometimes? Sure. But we have not had a season where there was no trophy in ever since he's been there. Like, he is, I think, in my opinion, and I know you have a differing opinion, I think he's the best coach in all of football. I think that our center backs are the best combo right now. I think yours are a very, 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 very close second. I think you do actually have the best one. Write it down. I finally said it. I think Verge is. I think Verge is the best one, but I do think when you combine and they're healthy, Diaz and Laporte, or even Diaz and Stones, who not last year but the year before that had an incredible season. I think they're the best to do it.
If you're picking two partners,
am I going to get to answer my own fucking thing?
If you're picking two partners, you don't have a second partner.
What do you mean?
If you're saying Laporte or Stones,
no, it's Laporte and Diaz are the partnership, and then we get to bring in Stones, who I think is like a top 10 center back in the world.
I don't think that, but okay.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that I did this on your episode.
You're saying outrageous shit.
I'm not saying outrageous shit. Rodri, like I said, stepped up last year, huge. Bernardo stepped up last year, huge. KDB, yeah, you're going to correct me real quick again. KDB's the best player in the Premier League. He is the best soccer player in the Premier League. It's not even close. I don't care what people say. It's not even close. He's the best player in the Premier League.
It's when you say shit like this, not even close?
Not
Are
even close.
You fucking kidding me?
Mo Salah couldn't do half the things KDB forgets how to do on the soccer field.
Okay.
And then, I mean, we're going to add the youngest, best striker in the world. And we won without it last year. So that's where I'm at. This episode is already a shit show, and it's already off the rails, and I knew this was going to happen.
It's because you just say wild shit. I just want you to do this exercise, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Think of center backs just in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Okay? And then be honest with yourself. And if I can think of 3 center backs on a team that are better than Stones.
Who?
Koulibaly. Thiago Silva still.
No.
Reece James, better center back.
No.
Yes. Cucurella is a better center back.
No. I disagree.
You're insane.
It's fine.
All right, you've talked about you basically beat the dick of your team pretty damn hard.
We're gonna have to really put that explicit tag on this.
Can you give me some can you give me one weakness? I mean, I know it's probably really hard, but
no, I do. I mean, I think depth. I think we are when we get injured, especially in the back, like the left and the right backs right now. We have 2 players that are playing those positions, and that's like it. Honestly, I'd probably take Angelino back right now. I miss Zinchenko. I love Zinchenko. I know Angelino kind of had a little fall from grace too. I think he had a pretty good season 2 seasons ago, but now he's off to Hoffenheim, I think. So this is something that I think that you might agree with, and it's gonna fall in line with how I'm talking about Ederson and Alisson. It's really easy, and you do it. You criticize Trent, a lot, decent amount. There's been times where I've been on the phone with you talking about Kyle Walker, and I really want to fly over to England and be like, bro, what the fuck? Why did you trip that guy in the box 7 times in a row? That's where we're weakest, right? Not weakest. We have 2 amazing right and left backs, wing backs, but we don't have any depth. I think the problem is there really isn't many people that can play these positions. I think Cucurella would have been one that if we would have gotten, I'd been like, fuck yeah, we're like one more person can play both these positions. Mm-hmm. I don't know who else you put there. And I think you guys have the same issue. Once if Trent goes down or if Robertson goes down, it's not like you can pull 3 guys off the bench to fit into what those dudes do. And I think that's like a reality.
I mean, I think for us, if Trent goes down, it's a lot worse than if Robbo goes down because I think Tsimikas is really good, actually.
I think you guys actually probably have 3. We only have 2. Yeah. We only have 2 guys back there.
I would say, so this is, I was building to this point. First of all, I can't believe I haven't heard his name yet, Jack Grealish. You haven't said a fucking word about the guy. He's going to be top 5.
Well, I didn't get to talk about it yet because I'm going to tie it into where they're going to finish.
Okay. Cool. Anyway, I'll say this. I think you are dead wrong about your center backs. I think you have I think you have a top 5 center back, and that's Ruben Diaz.
The top 2 center back.
I think you have a top 5 center back in Ruben Diaz. I think you have Laporte and Stones, who are very good partners. I don't think either one of them is top 10. Nathan Ake, I think for somebody who gets absolutely just peppered for no reason, I don't think he's that much worse than either of those other two guys.
Nathan Ake is a great guy, I think, too. Never met him, but he seems like he
seems nice.
Like a genuinely like good dude. Like,
yeah, seems nice.
Like he's the nice guy in your group of friends.
So I think that, and then I think Walker's like your Robertson, who actually plays defense, does a good job. Cancelo's like our Trent, doesn't really play defense. The difference, I think, in that is, again, it's just statistically, and it might be a one season thing. Joel Matip was literally one of the best defenders in the Premier League last year, alongside Virgil van Dijk. We had an incredible center back partnership. I think that gave license for Trent to go up. I worry. I'm not saying that Laporte or Stones, because I've seen them do it before, can't be world-class defenders. But if they're not, Cancelo's going to do what Cancelo wants to do. And that's what Pep wants him to do. He's not going to be a good defender. He isn't. He's like Trent. That's not his job. So if either one of those guys isn't up to task, and especially now that you guys might have Walker actually pushing up too, you guys are going to be incredibly susceptible on the break.
Sure. First things first, I want to correct one thing that you said. Cancelo plays better defense than Trent. Cancelo not as good offensively as Trent, and it's actually a bigger gap than I've spoken about. Definitely, like Trent's an attacking midfielder at this point. Sure, I think maybe yes. If we're gonna get beat, that's how we get beat. I think there's not enough respect put on Rodri's name. I think that there's going to be a scenario this year where he's going to be in discussion for he is the best CDM in the league.
I think he could be, but I'm like he's out of the equation at that point. Like on a break, that's how most teams are going to play against you guys.
Yeah. Well, we saw how teams are going to play against us because Palace did it against you today. Like Zaha literally sat right there, right in that section, and it was like Hail Mary time. They were playing like hockey. They were dumping it in and hoping that Zaha won a legged battle, then you could score. Poor Nat.
Yeah, poor Nat. I also like Nathan Ake, great guy. Like
Nat Phillips and Nathan Ake are two of the genuinely good people.
Yeah,
it's gonna come out that one of them did something horrible now.
No, don't say that. Come on, because it's gonna be one of us. I don't know, because I mean, I literally remember, and again, you're playing us, I guess, in this instance, but I remember the Community Shield game. It's like, we were on a break against you guys, and Roger just couldn't keep up. Like, once you got past him, he doesn't have, like, the backtrack speed, and neither does Fabinho. I'm not saying, like, this isn't like our guy is better than your guy thing. But
CDM's not normally a position where you put a burner. Yes, right. I get that.
Right, so I just think that if you're sitting, like I said about Van Dijk, most of the time, if it's like one-on-one, I still feel very confident that he's gonna at least shepherd you to the corner and not get beat. And I think that with Diaz, less, but still, I think he's a top 5 center back. And I'll say it again, it's the other guys, and I think that we just have a little bit better, as we've given up 3 goals this year. A little bit better defense for that, because we play like the high line and stuff. And I just think because of how you guys are going to play and how you're going to just press teams in their half, because you're so good and so good on the ball, if it does break, and and so many teams have unbelievably fast technical players, even the mid-table ones, even the lower table ones, that you guys can get beat on that a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's definitely our weakness. Like, and people should know that a lot of this boisterousness that I had at the beginning of this episode is merely just because I know it annoys Michael a little bit. But like,
still haven't heard his name. Just saying.
I do know. I do know that is where when we lose, and if you look back at games that we've lost that we're not supposed to lose last year, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Like the Palace game last year, Zaha undressed Laporte, and Laporte got the red card. Like I know, I'm well aware, but I just think that he has continued to get better and better and better. I actually think that I'm not worried about the center backs. I'm worried especially because Walker is getting older and he's not played a little bit, and then we got rid of Zinchenko. Like, I'm more worried about the edges. Like, I'm worried if someone goes down on that edge, what happens? Does anything happen? Do we just quit?
Well, and again, I think this is kind of where I'm getting to is like an overall defense, because if I'm saying I'm worried about your center backs and you're saying you're worried about your wing backs, there's at least one person that's worried about your entire defense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
And again, I think where Ederson excels in starting attacks and playing out from the back and all that stuff, he isn't the best shot stopper. He's not a bad shot stopper.
How many say yes? This is a different pod that we need to do, a different show that we need to do, but I want you to write this down. I want you to think about it.
Okay.
How many saves and how many clean sheets does Ederson have to get this year for you to consider him a good goalkeeper?
I do think he's a good goalkeeper. I don't think clean sheets matter.
But like saves, that's why I said saves.
Right, but I think you can just say saves. I think there's other stats.
Okay.
Save percentage.
Sure. That's what I'm talking about then. You give me the stats. Don't do it right now. Think about it. Sleep on it.
I know what it is.
What is it then?
Over 70% save percentage. He's not gonna see as many saves as any other goalkeeper.
But that's what I'm saying. How many shots do we have to give up?
I don't think it's about how many shots you have to give up. I'm saying that his save percentage compared to other goalkeepers is consistently lower.
We're off the rails.
You asked me.
No, I didn't want you to answer. That's why I said sleep on it. Yeah, I think being thin in the back, that's our weakness for sure. For sure. Agreed. Totally agreed.
All right, so I'll let you talk about your boy. Where you guys going to finish? Bring this all home for me.
Well, we totally skipped over the where are we going to buy or whatever because I think
you're not going to buy anybody.
Well, that's what I say. Just like Liverpool, I think business is done and this is what it is and this is where we're rolling. I think the last person to get in would have been Cucurella. Now, big old caveat. If Bernardo goes, I think we do make an emergency buy, and I pray to God that it is not at the level of what you referenced last episode with your dude from Preston North End, which it could be, very much could be.
We've talked about him twice now. I need to know his name.
Yeah, go find his name. Where they're going to finish, I obviously have them winning, just like you had Liverpool winning in the last episode. I have them winning. And I am a big believer in it takes 2 years under Pep to hit your potential and be the player that you need to be and be the player to have the impact that he wants you to have. That's why on the NAFTA podcast, on the group chat, on every medium that I can talk to Michael, Dylan, and Nick, I will say this, even if it doesn't happen, Jack Grealish will be considered a top 5 winger in the Premier League.
Now he's a top 5 winger.
Attacker. What do you want? Well, you
said top 5 player in the Premier League.
Top 5 player in the Premier League.
Oh, you're so fucked.
His calves are gorgeous.
His name is Ben Davies. Plays for Rangers now.
Rangers?
So, there you go.
Perfect.
Sweet,
so
dude.
At him first. Where do you have him?
Clearly second. They're not going to win. Anyway. That was Manchester City. Shout out to John and his great team. Woo!
Longest episode
6
to
points.
date, I think. Woo,
6 points after 2 games. That's pretty damn good.
That's as best as you can get.
That is.
Like, subscribe, share, leave us the comments. And that's Miles Off It, too. That's the last episode.
We're done forever. You'll never see this channel again.
I hope not. We got to figure out what we're going to do next. Probably jerseys. We're look at us. We're big fashion guys. You can tell. So,
okay.
Chill.
AJ Wood, let me hold that beat.